Welcome, guys. Today's adventure brings me to Juniper Level Botanic Garden in Raleigh, North Carolina. I did want to make sure that I pointed out the entrance of the garden so that you can see it, because while you're driving, it is very easy to miss. And my suggestion is that when you are following that GPS, slow down as soon as you see that you are getting close to it, because there is no obvious sign. Now, this botanic garden is not like other botanical gardens that I've been to, which tend to be more for the public and just, I'm sure they do their research and all of that, but they tend to be a little bit more for display and just basically bringing access for people to view some of these plants, right? But what makes this one different is that it is a 28-acre nonprofit private research garden, okay? And they have 10 acres of the display gardens. These display gardens are, from my opinion, when I went in there, they weren't like the center of attention. They were kind of spread throughout the nursery, greenhouses, and so to me, it felt different than other botanical gardens that I would normally visit. They do have a nursery called Plant Delights Nursery, which, from my understanding, it's there to support the botanical garden. I'm assuming in bringing revenue, right? They are able to propagate these plants, and you can go in there and purchase either clippings or plants and so forth. And so, from what I understand, this is just kind of how they bring the revenue in order for them to go ahead and do what they need to do. Now, they do have 8 weekends in the year where they are open to the public. And so I do want to say that if you are hoping to go in and enjoy the gardens and have a relaxing time, these open weekends are not it. These open weekends were very busy, a lot of people. They have a food truck and a couple of vendors. From what I understand, they have a couple of educational classes as well, staff doing tour guides. And so I found it very difficult for me to even enjoy some of the sections in the garden, because there were people either bumping into you or walking briskly through the garden. And so the open houses are great if you are trying to take advantage of the nursery sales, as well as maybe the staff there to kind of answer some of your questions. It is my understanding, though, that these open weekends are not the only times that you may visit the garden. It's just that otherwise you would need to make an appointment. They are open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5. They are closed on the weekends, but during the week, as I mentioned, you can schedule a visit. Now, I am not sure if you can go as a solo person or just group. I would probably ask if I really wanted to know prior to filling out this form. But looking at the formulary to schedule a visit, it just asks some basic information, and then it asks you what's the purpose that you're wanting to request this visit, whether you are a gardener or an enthusiast. It even has a creative professional or artist, which is probably what I would categorize myself at. You also have a social media influencer. So maybe you would want to go in there and do a video with a lot of people walking around like I did today. But yes, that is definitely an option. If you do have a group and you want a guided tour, because by the way, when you request an appointment, it asks you whether you are wanting to do a self-guided tour, which you wouldn't pay, or a guided tour, which you would, but these are, from the sounds of it, it says $10 a person with a minimum of $100. So that leads me to believe a group of 10. Otherwise, be willing to, shell out $100. But there are options out there for you to go to it other than those open weekends. The Plants Delight Nursery, just so that you are aware, do sell online. So I will go ahead and link the website to the gardens as well as the nursery in the description. And maybe I'll put a different part that it will lead you to the landing page for the request to visit if you are interested in visiting the garden. I will say they do have a lot of areas where if you were to go solely just to enjoy the garden, they have a lot of little nooks and crannies where you can find a spot to relax, a couple of benches throughout the garden for you to enjoy your surroundings. Finding the little metal sculptures around the garden. Well, here's another garden sculpture. I feel like we saw this. Next to your Facebook side? We are getting ready to exit. Yes, we are. Let's see how I can find my way out of here. I did see a couple of the things that were listed there. Like the sink, I did see that, and I did see a couple of the butterfly. Oh, there's the truck. They had Cousin's Maine lobster. Not bad, not bad. That's a good food truck, huh? So yeah, the entire it looks like they have like acres and acres and acres of things listed. So they do have a lot. All right, let's see. All right, so if you notice here, right here, this is the entrance, right where the horse is, like somewhere around here. Yep, right here, coming up where the mailbox is. That's the entrance. And so if you don't know where you're going, you kind of can miss it. I just happened to be behind a car that knew where they were going, but I am literally in a neighborhood. All this is part of the garden, by the way, which is crazy because that means that that people, like, they can literally come and like steal, which I mean would suck, but you know, anyway.